folks, I've been working on this boat for quite a while. It's a 2019 Hobie Outback, and I'm going to take you bow to stern with all the different accessories and modifications and custom pieces I have on it. So one of the first questions that I've got from people that knew that I got this boat and obviously rigged it up with a Torpedo is, are you still using the Mirage Drive in the river? And the answer is no. I'm finding out that between paddling and using the Torpedo in a river application, I'm not using it. I do still love the Mirage Drive, and I'm using it in lakes, saltwater. This boat sort of gives me the best of all worlds in terms of, you know, it is a boat that is certainly river worthy. I've paddled it in up to class 2, strong class 2 rapids. Haven't done any 3s yet, but it paddles very well. And I'll save the Mirage Drive for days where I'm on flat water and I need that little subtle control, really holding me in position because of the wind, or really just want to get some exercise that day. Otherwise, like I said, I'm using the paddle and I'm using the Torpedo. So I'm going to come back to propulsion a little bit later, and we'll go ahead and truly go bow to stern, because there's a lot on this boat I'd like to show you. So what we have there is an anchor boom that I had Trey, Innovative Sportsman, make for me. And the design there is really something that, as I use the Anchor Wizard back here, which is a really powerful winch, it really, as I'm cinching that in, you can see that that anchor, I use a mushroom anchor, really tucks up into there, and it brings it upwards so it's not lower and banging in the, you know, real choppy, windy wave action. And you don't want the anchor banging on there. And Trey was able to make this anchor boom custom for me that it really accepts this particular style mushroom anchor. It's been a real nice, stealthy anchor boom. So coming back, I will say that I have the Yak-Power system to power everything on here except for the Torpedo. So let's look inside the hatch here, and you'll see, I'm going to unhook my Humminbird unit first, but you'll see I have the Dakota Lithium 23 amp hour powering everything through the Yak-Power setup. So different buttons here correspond with different buttons on this panel here, and turn on, you know, everything from red LED lighting for, you know, the seat well area, to the depth finder, to, I have a USB plug here to power up and recharge my cell phone, to the navigation lights. I have a Yolo-Tek port here for a pole where I can use I have a Sony action cam that goes into that and really maintains power throughout the day. It's not the only camera I have, but the Yolo-Tek allows a continual draw of power off of that Dakota Lithium battery throughout the day. But the most important thing that it is powering is the Humminbird Helix 10. With the mega side imaging, it draws quite a lot of current, and that battery's been able to keep up with it through a day of fishing, plus all the other auxiliary power needs that I have. I'm actually going to leave this off for a moment. I'll put that down here, and what I want to show you here is, and it's hard to see with the motor up, maybe we'll go ahead and drop that motor and I can show you how that steering works. But this right here is steering for my Torpedo. So what I've done, and this is another custom piece by Trey Leach of Innovative Sportsman, we've run lines from this, and basically as I'm pushing forward with my feet here and here, you can look back and see that the motor is also turning. It works better when I'm in deeper water, but you get a sense of what I'm able to accomplish with foot control steering that keeps the Mirage Drive area here clean. There are no sliding foot pegs to crowd the Mirage Drive area. You know, everything is from here forward, and it actually does very good crisp steering. This piece is actually dropped down into the sail mast that the Outback and Pro Angler also come with, and it's sort of a seesaw-like design here. This is spectral line that enters the hull, goes around, and on the inside here, there's a YakAttack stealth pulley where this line takes a 180-degree turn underneath here and runs to the back of the boat and comes out and connects with the steering triangle of the Torpedo. It's a very unique and effective steering setup, foot control steering. So I mentioned earlier I have more than one video camera working on this boat at a time. The one that I use the most is this one right here. And what this piece is right here, it's got some extra, you know, sections of dog bone added to it. But this is a prototype of a camera mount that's coming out from YakAttack, I think sometime early 2020. I was able to work with the folks at YakAttack to test out this prototype and give them feedback. So I've enjoyed using this YakAttack camera mount, and it's nice because, you know, as I'm coming through rapids, I can stick it back here and get that over the shoulder shot. If I get down to where I'm fishing, I can drop it in here. Anywhere that I have a YakAttack lock and load base, I can get it closer here. Wherever I want to put a lock and load base, I can move my camera to whatever position I need it to be. As I move it there, you have the adjustability to change the base as well as the angle from this part right here. I'm just going to loosen it up and just show you how that's working. So lots of adjustability built into this YakAttack product coming next year. I actually have two anchor wizards on here. I've already shown you one for my anchor off the bow. The second one, if you've never fished with me, you might not know that I like to throw a couple crankbaits, right? Some of those are deep divers, and from time to time the deep divers get hung down in you know, branches and laydowns and rocks and whatever, stumps down deep, and the way that I get them back is with a plug knocker. So the plug knocker is a device, it's a hunk of lead with some chains hanging off the front of it. And as you've hung up a crankbait, you put the line, the fishing line, in here, so it's really going through there. And with the anchor wizard, I loosen that up, and all I do is I let that slam down, boom, and slam into the crankbait, and I lift and drop, lift and drop. Usually the force of the lead coming down will knock the crankbait free. If it doesn't, that's what the chains are for. The chains will catch in the treble hooks, and then I can rip it out of the stump or whatever it's caught in. Really useful device. If you're not using a plug knocker, you really should. The anchor wizard for me just made sense as a line management tool for that plug knocker line, and I just keep it right next to me at the side. To mount both of them, I have the gear track set down into these little depressions, and I had to get some longer bolts to really fit into there. So a little bit of DIY, finding the right hardware to get that. You know, you're going to get that stuff from YakAttack in terms of the gear track discs, and then also just going to the hardware store and getting the longer bolts to fit down into that depression. So the next thing I want to talk about is something that I feel strongly that kayak fishing manufacturers need to upgrade a little bit on the seats from what I refer to as butt hammock. I'm not a fan of butt hammock. And by butt hammock, what I mean are you have two pieces of aluminum pipe and a mesh slung in between. and it basically makes your butt conform to a U shape. My butt's not U-shaped. I don't know what shape your butt is in, but the butt hammock is just, after 3 hours, I end up locking my elbows and getting pressure off my butt. I'm tired of it. So what I've done that is custom here is created it's really a bucket seat. And what I have here, and this is just sort of, I call it prototype, but I'm not a kayak manufacturer. I'm just showing this to kayak manufacturers, hoping that they step up the game, either with an accessory that would fit over existing seats or build it into their seats. But these pads right here are flotation from an old life jacket that I had that I just cut up and I used it. FYI, if you don't change out your life jacket every couple years, you really should think about that. They actually lose some of their buoyancy after a few years. So every couple of years you do want to upgrade and renew your life jacket. This is from an old one. The pads here that I've sewn to the existing mesh. And then there's another kind of honeycomb pad here, just a foam pad that has little perforations in it so it has the breathability. I've wrapped the whole thing in, this is like a performance shirt, breathable shirt, like Under Armour, but you know, it was just a no-name brand that I had that I cut up, and I used that fabric to cover the whole thing. I'm really happy with how it's come together and how comfortable it is. I'm able to go, you know, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours sitting in this and fishing all day and not have that butt hammock fatigue after 3 or 4 hours. So that's been nice. I do have the transducer for the Humminbird Helix 10 in there. I usually keep it tucked up. This was a really nice install, very, very clean, nice job that Hobie did with that protects your transducer. And I've had it out in rocky conditions like this where I'm hitting stuff and it's jumping up in there. A lot of times if I know I'm running a rapid, I'll go ahead and pull the cord and it'll retract up, and that protects it. As we move back, I do have some of the Yak-Power LED lights I talked about here. These are the red ones. You know, as you install these things, never have them within a line of sight of where you're sitting. These red ones sort of form light forward underneath the seat, so when I'm night fishing, this area, which is my work area, is illuminated with red light. So as we move back, I have my 915 watt hour battery of the Torpedo ultralight. I have the Torpedo throttle mount here. I actually took that middle link out just because I wanted a little bit lower for clearance as I'm paddling this boat. I really want to drive that home though. Hobie's known for the Mirage Drive and a really incredible, you know, well thought out, and the fact that they're coming out with, you know, the pedals and the flippers that are going to kick up, that's brilliant. But please don't overlook that this is a great boat to paddle. The efficiency of the hull, it's one of the fastest boats that I've had with a Torpedo on it. It goes 5.5 miles per hour at top speed, and you can maintain that full speed for over 12 miles of range at top speed. You drop down to 1 mile an hour, you have over 100 miles of range. So this 915 watt hour battery paired with a very efficient hull that really releases water cleanly at the stern. It's a great combination, be it on the river, out on salt water going after striper or bluefish, or on a lake going after largemouth, whatever it is. This boat, you know, does everything very well. So I've just used this. I forget even what it is. It's a cooler. Mostly, I think I grabbed it because it matched the boat. So I have the rod holders on it. You know, it's my tackle storage and where I put my lunch. I have the beach wheels for the cart. I'm going to get over on the shore and show you the other parts of what's going on here what these pipes are right here, but they're all about being able to get the cart up into the boat without asking somebody for assistance. So 5.5 mile an hour feels pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the kickstand now that I'm getting ready to load it in the truck. So I'm not even going to worry about these for a second yet. I'm going to come back here and I'm lifting this up, and as I do that I'm bracing it with my thigh and just swinging this one kickstand around, bringing the other. Get that on the ground, lift it a little higher. Up it goes. Come around the side here. Line these up. And it's got a little pin, locks it in place. And just do that in reverse. Kickstand. Ready to roll. So one last thing I want to cover before we throw this up in the truck is the wrap, the skin by BRD Skins. These really are a nice way to kind of show off your sponsors and, you know, your rig, and in my case a really nice smallmouth that I caught a few years on the Susquehanna. But this is the company right here that that can make these. So BRD Skins, check them out. You can get custom ones. It's really a nice way to cap off, really making a sweet looking custom kayak look even better.